I am so sick of people who are gamers who profess to like board games and know a lot about board games saying that Monopoly is a horrible game. To be honest, I was one of those people once upon a time, and I did the same thing. Said how much I hated Monopoly, that it was a horrible game, that I couldn't believe it was still around, that it just needed to die. I've since come to see the light, and that's why I'm making this video, is I want other people who profess to know about board games to respect Monopoly. Will you click below the subscribe button? It's a little, usually outlined in red, little subscribe button. Really helps me out. So there are a couple things you need to know about Monopoly in order to have respect for it. First, 99% of people play it completely wrong. Now, imagine you design a board game, you find out that people hate it, and then you find out that nobody's playing it the way you intended it to be played. Nobody's playing by the actual rules. Infuriating, right? And that's what's happening to Monopoly, and it makes me so mad when people say, yeah, I hate Monopoly, it's the worst game ever. Then I start asking about some of these common rule misconceptions, and they're like, oh yeah, we do that. And I'm like, yeah, you're playing the game in a broken way. You've intentionally destroyed the game, and now you're criticizing it for not being better. A couple of the rules that you need to avoid like the plague. 1, free parking does nothing. It never has done anything, and it should never do anything. Maybe there's some variation of Monopoly out there where free parking does something. It is not intended to do anything. It is literally a spot to take a rest and not do anything. There is no bonus. You win nothing. It's not special in any way. It is a blank space. Don't do anything on free parking. 2, you cannot simply choose to not buy a property. It is either purchased or it is auctioned. This helps the game go faster. One of people's major complaints about Monopoly, helps it go faster and get to the point where people can actually start making reasonable trades. 3, there is no bonus for landing on go. It is the same. You collect $200 whether you land there or you pass it. That's it, no bonus. 4, and this is one that's people's fault, not the game's. Properties were meant to be traded. Monopoly, people think that it's just a simple path walking game and it's all based on luck. It's not. It is a game of negotiation and bargaining. If you miss this fact and you play Monopoly in another way, you are missing the key part of the game. It is wheeling and dealing, it is manipulating, and it is getting people to give you their properties. That comes with 2 sides though. You have to be willing to give other people monopolies. Yes, it may come at a steep price because it's giving them something that's potentially good. I'm sure you've played with people who will not give somebody a monopoly for anything, no matter what it is. I mean, they could be paying them $2,000. They're like, no, I'm not giving you my light blue because it gives you a monopoly. Don't play with those people because you're never going to change them, and they should not be playing board games because that's not what it's about. You have to be willing to give people monopolies. If people aren't willing to do that, and if people aren't willing to trade, the game will never end and it'll be long as heck. And the 5th rule that I'll point out, and let me point out that there are many other rules that we haven't gone over, that there are a host of ridiculous rules that people use. The 5th rule is do not supplement with additional houses and hotels. Those are a limited resource. When they run out, the game is intended to not have any more. This is critical to a bunch of the strategies. You need to be able to choke out other people's options of getting houses and hotels. The second thing that people need to understand is there are multiple and varied strategies to winning Monopoly, and they're actually very beautiful. When you get destroyed by somebody purchasing the browns and the light blues, building houses on them but not hotels, and strangling everybody else out of money, it's an amazing thing. That's the ridiculous thing about the way people play Monopoly, and it's not Monopoly's fault, it's players' fault. Monopoly doesn't have to be your favorite game. In fact, it's not my favorite game. I do not prefer to play Monopoly. There are so many other games I would rather spend my time playing. But I think you have to respect Monopoly. And yes, I'll point right at you. I think Monopoly demands respect. First of all, best-selling game worldwide for 50 years. That is one thing to demand respect. And not only that, it has a rich and vibrant history. Monopoly has shown up throughout. I mean, World War II, it was used to smuggle supplies into Europe. It has some really cool things about it. You look at the design phases that it's gone through, the fact that it's remained relatively unchanged for so long is miraculous. They've done some awesome things with Monopoly, and it is not a broken game. People have broken it by using their own rules, but it's actually pretty impressive. And there are a lot of beautiful things in the negotiation tactics. If you say Monopoly is broken or that it's just a horrible game, I'm convinced you do not know Monopoly. And I want to change that, which is why I'm making this video. I have met so many people who I'm surprised at. They're avid gamers, and yet they'll say how much they hate Monopoly and how worthless of a game it is. And first of all, you can dislike it, but still have a lot of respect for it. That's like half my board game collection. And that's something that you need to understand, is that Monopoly doesn't have to be your favorite game. It doesn't even have to be a great game by today's standards, but you should respect it. Please comment below. Just let us know if you agree, because this is my quest. And in full disclosure, I worked for Hasbro. I worked on the Monopoly team. I've designed probably 20, 30 games of Monopoly. I still will never suggest it or pull it out and ask to play it. However, I need the world to give Monopoly credit for what it is. So comment below. I would love to know your thoughts. This is me not criticizing a board game today, but criticizing the community that says they love and know board games. So let me know what you think.